Hey, welcome to the new episode of ITT Podcast. I'm Ken, and today we have our guest.
Bryan.
Introduce lah.
Yeah, my name is Bryan. I am part of ITTC as well.
I thought you want to say I'm Bryan. I'm 25 years old.
I'm 27 already this year. I'm damn old already.
Yeah, because ITT Podcast ITTC basically runs by a few of us. So Bryan, it's one of our partners in crime.
Yes.
And then the reason why, one of the reason I wanted to do this episode is because there are several reasons. One of the reasons we conducted a very quick survey about the topic. Yep. Second one is he done a thesis research based on the topic that relevant to what we're going to talk today.
Yes, the idea of my thesis is to gauge the opinions of the sentiments of youths towards politics in Malaysia.
Yep. So we're going to talk about politics, but in a fun way, I would say. Not going to be a formal way lah.
As fun as possible.
As fun as
we can make it lah.
But sometimes when both of us sit down together, right, we will just talk a lot. Like we'll basically crap a lot, right?
Yeah.
We will just go and critique some of the politicians. Don't care about you are government side or you are the opposition side.
I'm not sure most of the time whether we are making sense or not, but we do our best. That's how much we think politics is fun.
Yeah, we criticize a lot during the time between 2018 March until February on 2020.
Yep.
Yeah, we criticize a lot. Doesn't mean that we are not supporter. Okay. All right.
We are very
neutral,
concerned observers of the politics.
We are voters, what? We are taxpayers.
Yes.
So we need to make sure that the politicians are doing job. Correct, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's come back here. So both of us are basically considered. I'm no longer classified as Belia. And he is still classified as Belia because the amendment of Constitution said that Belia is defined as those who are below 30 years old.
Isn't it 21 to 40? I'm not sure.
A man already law. So it's already the definitions. It says that 30 years old is like a maximum. The point where if you are 31, you are no longer classified as Belia.
So by the government standard, you're damn old already lah.
Yeah. You really? First time you come here, you want to grill me, barbecue me already lah. All right. One of the reasons that we wanted to discuss about this is, do you still remember Undi 18?
Yes.
Which is our former youth minister, who fight for it, and then he successfully. I think it's a great success for a very young MP, and he able to amend federal constitutions way.
Yeah, which is a really huge achievement.
Exactly.
You don't push a bill like that through Parliament that often, I would say, and to do that at a very young age is very impressive.
Which is 25 years old. When he was 25 years old, he successfully persuaded all the members of Parliament to agree on the amendment of the federal constitutions to allow 18 years old to go to vote.
Yeah, which is not a small bill if you think about it. Also, because to open up 18 years old, to open up basically really young adults to come in and vote, right? It's like opening up another demographic of Malaysia, like giving a full demographic, like a very.
You open up a new layers of the. You are allowing the another new layers of the society to go and vote. Basically, because previously you only can vote when you were 21 years old, and now it's like you're allowing 18, 19, 20 to go and vote. Imagine the numbers.
Yeah, and not only that, like you open up a new layer of politics as well, like a new field, not a new field, a new aspect of politics for people to consider as well. It's not only just focusing on urban or grassroots or working adults. Now it's like you have to cater to a new demographic, but that can be a topic for another time.
Yeah, agreed. But aside from that, the philosophy behind this movement to get the 18 years old and above to allow them to vote for the for Malaysia was attracted a lot of welcome, a lot of support. A lot of people are supporting and say that 18 years old is they are. Even though I have a disagreement towards this, they say that it's matured enough for them to go and vote, right?
Yeah.
But we have a different perspective of it. But now there are some now the fact that Undi 18+ is already approved and it will be implemented according to Dato Takiyuddin, which is our de facto law minister. He says that it will be implemented on this coming July 2021. But the deputy youth ministers, which is your good friend, Wan Faizal, he somehow disagreed with the concept. So on one of the sessions that he was on Clubhouse the other day, and then he said that I don't want to take out of context, later he come and sue me. He said that the youth 18 years old is not so matured to vote.
I mean,
but anyhow, he said that the media take out of context, so it doesn't mean it that way. He's fully support Undi 18+. But it's a good thing for us to discuss. So questions. Do you first let's look into our perspective. Do you agree Undi 18+? It's okay to disagree.
Personally, I disagree to some extent. Even though it's very commendable that Syed Saddiq did what he did lah. But then I feel that somehow the argument that a lot more young people, they need a bit more education, a bit more push when it comes to politics, because all this time our education system has been so deeply rooted in, like, very static syllabuses that don't change, history, mathematics, the STEM subjects. Things that requires to remember so much. We have been focusing on this, as a society. Like Malaysia has been focusing so much on this that we have somewhat neglected a bit of critical thinking skills, a bit of like analytical skills that helps us break down, like helps us like think about for ourselves, what would this mean for us, like what are the implications now, what are the effects, if I do this, what are the effects, if I did another thing, what would happen,
exactly.
things like that.
Because our education system seems like it is just spoon feeding our kids for 11 years old. We just tell our kids like what is 1 + 1 equal to 1 + 1 equal to 2. They never really explain why 1 + 1 equal to 2. It's like the student demanding for an answer. They don't really demand for an explanations or justifications behind the answer. This is what we encounter as a part-time lecturers. I did respond to some of the education institutions like colleges and management. If the time where I'm able to sit down together with the seniors, I told them don't expect students to come into universities and ask them year 1, sem 1, let's say foundations or diploma level, to ask them what is your thought about this. If you ask these questions, it will be a little bit difficult for them to digest.
Yeah, because most of the time, I think many times when we ask younger people these questions, right, they would not know how to respond because they haven't been exposed enough lah. But I would like to add, right, that being said, right, because of the efforts by Syed Saddiq, right, in Undi 18+, right, more and more young people have been taking an interest in politics already. It has sparked a whole new movement, starting with the digital parliament that happened last year, and then after that digital parliament, subsequently so many other
which is the Parliament Belia, which is the youth parliament,
and so many more other gatherings and exercises where they keep bringing on younger and younger people to come and share their ideas and talk about discuss national issues.
I do realize that when they are pushing for Undi 18+, even the universities are allowing more voices of that relevant to politics.
Yeah, so that's why the point I'm trying to make is like there are two sides to this coin. On the bad side is that we still have people who have not been educated well enough yet, for them to go and vote. It's their right, it's our democratic, it's our right as a citizen to go and vote, but at the end they need to know what they are doing as well lah. But then I've spoken to a few people who are right at that minimum age of 18 lah.
Okay.
Surprisingly, they have been very, very mature. They are very, very mature people lah. So we shall see lah, even though we disagree.
I do agree, because we can't say that all of them are not matured. We cannot say so. We cannot say that we cannot say that 18 and towards 20, in between of these 3 years age gap, they are not matured. No, we can't say that. But the question is, how many of them are matured? Yeah, I am referring to this one. When we say mature, it's not mature towards your life and things like that. It's mature towards your thoughts towards the politics scene in Malaysia. Are you aware of at least the basic questions? Are you aware of how many political parties are involved in your constituency? Do you know who is your candidate during the elections? I always give this example. If some of the candidates who dare to, walk in the grey zone of the elections law, and realize that most of the youth in this constituency like to play computer games. I just have to organize computer games competitions a week before the election day, and then get them to involve. It's a youth involvement, right?
Yeah, and that's a great way to involve them. Actually, it doesn't have to be always like politically focused.
Agreed, but in this way, the bad side is the youth. Are they mature enough to think that this is just one of the political act or the political actions that the candidate are trying to do and earn my vote? And ends up during election day, I will cast my vote to that because of the cyber game competition. So you are now electing a candidate that give you benefits. Not say benefits, but you do not measure whether the candidate is able to serve you for the next 5 years or not.
Yeah, I think when at the end of the day, after like the discussion about maturity and education, right, it all comes down to like which candidate serves you the best, and no matter what age you are, right, as long as if you feel that a candidate is able to represent your interest in parliament and is able to do things for you, able to serve your best interest, right, to be able to represent the community, right, then I think that's really more than enough lah. That's the definition of serving the people.
Speaking about community, speaking about Undi 18+, one of the amendment, Federal Constitution's amendment, is about they are lowering down the candidate's age as well. They are permitting 18 years old and above to become the candidates on the future elections. And what we got here is Malaysia Department of Statistics review. 69.7% of Malaysia population consists of the age of 15 to 64, and even though we don't have the numbers of youth populations, let's look into the current members of parliaments. How many of them are basically youth? Okay, statistics back in 2012 are old statistics, but let's take it as a reference first. According to Asia Foundations, the youth consists of 43% of Malaysia populations with 222 parliament seats. Do the maths. 95 seats, if you look into it, 95 seats should be allocated to the youth. But if you look into 222, how many of them are youth? Let's don't go far. Let's only talk about our recent election, which is 2018. Do you recall how many youth representatives in the parliament, aside from Syed Saddiq, which is 25 years old, and his deputy, YB Sim Chi Keong, he is 30 over, and Dr. Kelvin Yee from Kuching, which is 30 something. The rest of them are basically more than 40.
Sorry, my memory of the parliament back then is kind of foggy also, but weren't there a few also from the opposition side, as in that time UMNO side?
Okay, I'm trying to recall. I don't hardly recall. If you say that one of the representatives can represent the youth, or only Khairi Jamaluddin, no? The age which is closer to the youth.
Which is closer.
But if you refer to the majority of them, no, I don't recall any. Even though there's one Punjab Borneo is not. There is one which is a son of the seniors, a veteran politicians. He is 30 something. Yeah, there is, but there is from Sabah, from Borneo, from East Malaysia.
Yeah. But here's a question to you, right? While we are talking about age, right? It's like, do you think age is really that benchmark, on which we set ourselves? Do we have to always have to have a quota of how many young people? Why not base it? Why not the point I'm trying to make, right, is that why not base on your
profession?
Yes, based on your merits.
Okay.
Yeah, based on what have you done, what have you actually done, your professions, your expertise, and what have you done for the community? The question is, are we taking this age thing too far or not?
are we taking this age
Yeah,
thing
because
too
like
far?
in Malaysian terms, die we want young people. When what if the question, right, at the end of the day, we keep pushing young people, we keep pushing the youth up, but then they are not ready for the job. They're not ready. They don't know how to do the job. They're not equipped. Not to say I'm supporting the certain politicians, those the bad ones, the ones who are too stubborn for change. But then it's like the question is, are they ready? Are they ready or not? Do we want to really force this agenda now?
It's okay. Let me just okay. You somehow changed my thought. Yeah, no, I don't think that it's age problem. It's about, yes, I agree on the merit, and I also go back to the very common terms that we use. Are they mature enough? Are they knowledgeable enough towards whatever they are doing right now? There are a lot of young leaders. There are a lot of people that is very young, even they are not even 18 years old. They have contributed a lot to the society. They deserve the leadership, but they are not 18 years old. But if he continue the pace to contribute back to the society, which means in future he will be the good leaders and he will be the next best candidate for us to vote for.
Yeah.
So it goes back to, yes, if you really wanted to lead in future, which is what we said, some of the statistics I can share, based on the current youth representative, right? Some of the respondents feel that youth wings of the political parties are those. How many of them are basically able to represent the youth demographic? Only 58%. So, which means that the involvement of youth in the politics is insufficient as well. So, are they knowledgeable enough, or are they matured enough to join? That's one of the questions. But again, it goes back to our society. Last time, what do you recall when you talked about politics? What is the response from your parents?
It's not really a very
welcoming kind.
Yeah,
they don't care, right?
Yeah.
But my father and mother would stop me from talking about politics. So we have been grown up in these kind of situations. How are we? If we continue to allow the parents to, when we talk about politics, don't allow your son and daughter to talk about that, how are they going to become the future leader?
Yeah. That's why it's like I always like what I'm doing for my thesis right now. I'm always stressing, it's good to do research to get the opinions of the people on the ground first, before any decision is made, any steps is made, to really understand, who are the people you are talking to, who are the people we are mentioning, who are the people involved. So it's, if we want to get the youths in, if we want to really properly get the youths involved, push for the youth agenda, but we have to do it properly.
Yep.
We have to do it properly.
But we don't see there's any proper plan for that.
Honestly, it's all a bit of a mess right now, but we still need a lot of work going forward.
So what we wanted to shout out to, if can, to the ministers or deputy ministers or to the politicians who are leading the country, who is leading the government and wanted to contribute back to the Beliers, the youth, you really have to look into the plan. You have to look into what is the next strategy to make them involved in your you want them. We always say the youth are basically the future leader. So what is your plan to nurture them to become the future leader?
Yep.
Right. All right, that's it for today. I know it's a very tough topic, I would say, but there's a lot of things that we can discuss in future also.
It's a very complicated topic, but a topic that is worth diving into.
Yeah. So if you have any thoughts that about Undi 18 should now we allow the 18 years old to vote, or we should allow the 18 years old to vote, leave your comments, leave your opinions down there on our socials, and follow our socials, and let's keep the interactions moving on. There's no right or wrong. Till next time, and maybe till next time we have more Bryan's involvement in podcasts also. See you. Bye.